Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. One of Ripple's larger customers, a bank customer in fact, says that cryptocurrencies are here to stay. Specifically, cryptocurrencies used for settlement. How about that? A Ripple bank customer is talking about the undeniable longevity of cryptocurrencies for settlement. What about that XRP one? What's that used for again? Oh, right, settlement. That's interesting. This is a fun article. So this one's from crypto media outlet U Today. RippleNet customer with $720 billion worth of assets under management says crypto is here to stay. But before I go any further here, if you would please, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please delicately tap the like button, but don't smash it. Only dorks smash the like button, and you strike me as super cool. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel because I just gave you a compliment. Time to return the favor. All right, so let's jump in here. From You Today, how about this? So what bank are we talking about? We're talking about Standard Chartered, a UK-based financial services company with $720 billion worth of assets under management, or AUM for short. They recently made an upbeat statement about the future of digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, via its official Twitter handle. And here is the official tweet from Standard Chartered. This is, you can see they're a verified account here with 74,500 followers, and they wrote, "Digital assets, including crypto assets, are here to stay. The new asset class is transforming the financial services industry, especially, listen up, especially in the way of transactions and settlements are done." Transactions and settlements. How about that, gosh darn it. Now, and then they ended up linking ultimately to this piece from CNBC, and this one's titled, I might touch on this a little bit, in a world where central banks issue digital currencies, Bitcoin and Libra may find a place. Now, I am long-term extremely optimistic and very confident that banks will be using XRP as a bridge currency. Now, to this point, we haven't had any official banks announce that they are live on on-demand liquidity, which utilizes XRP, but there was at least one bank that has given a verbal commitment to go there, to use XRP, so we know that it's going to happen. Now, as far as settlement, you can already use various cryptocurrencies for settlement, but specifically, if you're talking about using a cryptocurrency as a bridge currency, there's only one in the world out of over 5,000 cryptocurrencies that is being positioned for that use case. Is that not mind-blowing? There's one on the entire planet out of over 5,000. And not only is it's not just planned, it's used today in enterprise-ready software. They have actual customers, dozens and dozens of them, utilizing it today. And so I think that's going to result in tremendous staying power. And so I think part of the reason, besides regulatory uncertainty, which may be the biggest hurdle, the secondary reason I would state that you're not seeing banks publicly stating that they're using or actually using it today is because there are only a handful of corridors open. And even so, we're not privy to everything that's happening with these banking customers. So it is possible that some banks could be utilizing on-demand liquidity today, and it's just not been announced. Now, if we're saying that's happening, that would get into the realm of speculation. I'm just stating it's possible that could be the case. There just isn't any evidence for it, right? And then they have this little subheading here. XRP is not competing with CBDCs. This was a response to comments made by Indian economist Raghuram Rajan. I'm probably not saying that right. I'm doing my best, guys. Give me a break. If his name was John, I would nail it. John, that's an easy one. Former governor of the Reserve Bank of India, who weighed in on the current state of central bank digital currencies on CNBC's Beyond the Valley podcast earlier this week. Yeah, do you think perhaps that it's a certainty that this asset class is not going the way of my favorite avian creature, the dodo? That is to say, it's not going extinct? Like, I couldn't be more sure of that. I'm even more sure of that than I am of the longevity of XRP. And don't take that the wrong way, because I am Mr. XRP Bull, and I see it actually getting used today. But I'm even more sure that cryptos are here to stay because they're legitimately useful. You can do things with them that are otherwise quite literally technologically impossible. But Rajan argued that both Bitcoin, the world's first cryptocurrency, and Facebook's Libra stablecoin would be competing with central bank digital currencies issued by the banks. Yeah, perhaps if Libra ever becomes more than just a white paper, that could be the case. But here's his quote. I would like to think that these private currencies are also in competition with the central bank digital currency. Well, fair enough to state, but as far as Libra, understand that the way that's been pitched, and I guess it's technically subject to change because the damn thing doesn't even exist yet, but it's being pitched as a cryptocurrency that would be backed by a basket of fiat currency. So when you're talking about Libra specifically competing against the United States dollar or any of the different pesos out there, just understand that it is those things. It's backed by that. So if those go away, it goes away. And so that's why I think some people kind of miss the mark when they're analyzing it in such a way that it's in direct competition. Like, I get that, and fine, fair enough to state that fiat currency is not included in that basket backing it. That would be much more so direct competition. But for any fiat currency included within it, no, those have to continue to exist in order for for Libra to have any sort of staying power here. Now, The Economist also compared Bitcoin to gold in the sense that the intrinsic value of both of these mainly depends on public perception. Well, I would say that's also true of the United States dollar, which isn't backed by anything, right? But here's the thing: even if it were backed by gold, what's gold backed by? Nothing. It's backed by confidence, and so I understand there's legitimate utility. You can create things with it. It can be used in electronics. I get all of that, but it's not backed by anything. So whatever you're going to use as a form of money, it does come down to ultimately a trust system, right? So while Rajan did not touch upon the implications of the global CBDC race for XRP during the podcast, Ripple's Senior Director of Global Operations, Emi Yoshikawa, recently made it clear that there is no presumed competition between these cryptocurrencies. Now, and I did cover this recently, so I'm only going to mention it since it's in the piece here. Truer words have never been spoken, though. XRP is not being positioned for the same use case as what a central bank digital currency would be positioned for. Because the central bank digital currency, it's just a new technological form of the fiat currency that already exists. So that is to say, it's getting used as money. And other than, for instance, the only one off the top of my head I can think of, which would be XRPL Labs, which is funded through Ripple's Spring Initiative, run by Wietse Wind, creator of the XRP Tipbot. They created their Sum application. Other than that, I can't think of any push whatsoever, just off the top of my head, where XRP is trying to be positioned as, in place of where you'd actually use your daily fiat currency. But here's a quote from Emi Yoshikawa with Ripple. There are various types of crypto assets, but I think that the role of XRP as a bridge asset in international settlement is not to compete with stablecoins or central bank digital currencies, but on the contrary, to complement them. Yeah, again, absolutely true, undeniably true, because all that you're doing here, so understand, the fiat currencies, they're already siloed off. The problem we have today is that they're not easily interoperable. And that's where bridge currency can come into play. And again, XRP is the only one that's being positioned for this. And it's not the case that you can just have technologically a cryptocurrency and yay, magic, it just happens. No, you have to build an actual ecosystem around this, which is what Ripple's doing. You have to open corridors. You have to make partners. You have to lobby governments around the world. And they're working with what was it the last number we saw, 40 central banks around the planet? Yeah. So it doesn't just happen overnight. This is going to be a long ride in terms of the actual development of the corridors, but XRP is absolutely not doing the same thing as central bank digital currencies, but it will help them move around the planet in a more interoperable manner. Now, to me, that speaks true to utility, and so for me, my personal entire investment thesis is that utility matters and will win the day. Some of you may have heard me state that in the past, and I think that while there's not a reasonable parsing of the differences between cryptocurrencies and taking a look at where utility actually lies amongst the over 5,000 of them today. Not enough people are doing that anyway. I don't suppose that's going to be the case forever. Many of these cryptocurrencies are going to go extinct. It's ultimately going to happen. Just give it time. And so this piece on CNBC, and I'm just going to touch on this. It was an interesting read, again titled, "In a World Where Central Banks Issue Digital Currencies, Bitcoin and Libra May Find a Place." And they just had a few bullet points. These are the key points as they see it, so I'll just cover those. But number 1 of 3, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and Facebook-backed Libra could play a role in a world where central banks globally begin to issue their own digital currencies. Raghuram Rajan, former Reserve Bank of India governor, told CNBC. He called Bitcoin a speculative asset, this is the second bullet point, while Libra has been designed for transacting. Right, and so it would effectively be used in the place of fiat currency. And that's why, not surprisingly, the governments around the world, including the United States, lost their ever-loving minds upon this announcement and were like, holy hell, it's like, is Facebook a bank now? Like, what is going on? And legit questions, they were totally legit queries. And this is an example of what not to do. Ripple took the exact opposite approach, and as they've developed their platform, they've been engaging intentionally with regulators, not working against them. And then the third bullet point here, both could have different roles to play when central banks begin to issue digital currencies. Hey, fair enough. True words here. So we'll see if Libra ever actually gets launched here. But central bank digital currencies, I think they're going to be widespread. Fast forward a few years, I don't know how long it's going to take, but some people even say within the next few years there could be a United States dollar. Now, I don't know. I mean, it could happen that soon. I'm not convinced of it, maybe. But to me, it seems inevitable that they're going to happen because there are legitimate positives to this, but if you're a middleman, like a payment company, payment processor, you kind of get cut out by the federal government. Because if you think about it right now, like if you're using a credit card, think about what that means. It's not like there's a payment and then it's just all done. It's not settled yet because you still have to pay your credit card company, and then the credit card company still has to pay the merchant, right? And then there's fees that get taken out of this, and it results in a higher cost for goods sold around the world. Now, of course, those entities in the middle, they're not going to want to get chopped out, and I'm not even saying that they should or will. I don't think credit's going away, so I'm not even suspecting that. I'm just saying that outside of transacting with physical paper dollars, you can't, you need a central authority to conduct this. And so one of the potential positives, if you had a United States dollar, for example, or any central bank digital currency, is that you could just transact it, and then it would be recorded on, presumably it would actually be the definition of blockchain technology, and then you wouldn't need a middleman. So you can imagine how that would change things around the world. You can imagine how middlemen would be up in arms and scared over this. Totally get it. And so I don't know that's going to happen anytime soon. There's a lot of this to get worked out, and I don't pretend to have all of the answers, but it is fascinating, and this is the direction that everything is heading today, right? So we'll see, but either way, you've got a bank talking about a Ripple customer bank, Standard Chartered, massive bank, talking about how cryptocurrencies are here to stay. And don't be surprised if one day they too are utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. And I believe this is the way I think it will unfold. We'll see if I'm right. Is that as adoption unfolds and it becomes clear to institutional investors and retail investors alike that XRP is actually getting used in an increasing fashion and clearly a staying power, I think that will drive a further investment into XRP. Some will want to utilize it as a store of value because on the retail side, it would be a very small percentage of us holding XRP that are actually using it today. I'm not. Now, some are, and that's perfectly fine. It's just a small percentage. But even if you want to invest because you know that businesses need it, hey, what a cool cycle. Because it'll drive up the price of XRP ultimately, which makes transactions easier because you do need a sufficient blend of price and liquidity for these transactions to successfully occur. So the higher the price and the greater the liquidity, the easier it is going to be to take over the Nostro Vostro system that Swift has implemented for us today. And it's been around since, was it the late 60s, early 70s, whatever it's been. So anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for stopping by. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!